look at the two races, the two big races in the country right now, Virginia and New Jersey. What's happening there right now is economic issues are number one. What in Virginia, what Bob McLaughlin's talking about is he's going to be the jobs governor, and the Democrat, Craig Deeds, has not ruled out raising taxes, and McLaughlin's done a good job of putting that on. And Joe Q, economists, understands when you raise taxes, it's bad for the economy, and that's one of the, probably the main reason why Bob McLaughlin has the lead that he has right now. Then you look at New Jersey. Again, economic issues overwhelmingly. New Jersey is a Democratic state. It's probably generically, under normal times, about a 10, 12-point Democratic state. Yet, Chris Christie's still ahead. Why? Because 3/4 of the voters will tell you some sort of an economic issue is far away the number one issue in New Jersey right now is property taxes. And John Corzine basically raised property taxes every year he's been in office. But if you look at all these different surveys, some of them will ask the questions a little bit different. You see the healthcare pops up a little bit. And I know Curt is going to talk about this some, but usually most people, when they say the issue of healthcare, it's not about quality. Because 8 out of 10 Americans will tell you they're pretty happy with the quality of the healthcare they get. It's about affordability and it's about accessibility. This is in New Jersey, again, where you have over, and the reason why I'll tell you, it's more than actually the 62% are saying it has some sort of economic issue. When you look at healthcare, and then when you look at some of these other issues, it goes up to over 70%. This is real life. This is a real life race, and like I said, trust me, I've done hundreds of polls since last year. It's always some question of the economic issues. It's just a question of the ingredients. Now when we go back to Barack Obama, notice what happens. Even though they'll tell you 57, 58 are favorable to him right now, when it comes to the issue of healthcare, he's got a 48 negative. And you look at those all-important independent voters, on healthcare, he's a 35 approve, 53 disapprove right now. The economy, he's a 55 approve, 40 disapprove. He still hasn't taken full ownership on that issue. We've got to keep going after him on that. And Afghanistan is 51 to 32 right now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on that, see what happens on national security, Afghanistan, etc. I don't think he had too good of a week last week with the United Nations. Something, you know, probably with coddling guys like Chavez and Ahmadinejad and the rest of the group. I mean, that was ridiculous. In terms of what you always try to do in politics, in terms of strategy, is it's just like Procter & Gamble. You want to give them that personal benefit. What can you do to help them in their daily lives? This isn't one of my surveys. This is actually Fox Opinion Dynamics. They said, what do you think the president should be spending more time on right now? Fixing the economy or reforming healthcare? Fixing the economy, 57 to 19 right now. Which, by the way, is one of the reasons why, you know, in about 8 different messages that he's tried to use to get his bad healthcare plan passed, he's trying to say, okay, we can't fix the economy until we fix healthcare. But what most Americans actually believe is that his healthcare plan, and rightfully so, will make the economy worse. That's overwhelming. Look at that number among independents. That's why we need to stay focused on, we got to be the idea guys, idea gals when it comes to fixing the economy, creating jobs, etc. Based on what you know about the healthcare reform legislation being considered right now, do you favor or oppose the plan? 48 to 38 day vote. Just a generic, how do you feel about this? You guys remember, 2/3 of the American public thought this was a great idea. Support is dwindling out. It's not like we're the ones running a bunch of TV ads on this. The more people learn about this, we all saw the tea parties, we all saw the town hall meetings, the more people see about this, the less they like it. But again, even though we want to oppose this plan, by the way, the main reason why most people oppose this plan is because they think it's going to hurt the quality of care that they currently receive. That's why most people oppose it. Yeah, they want healthcare fixed because they want it to be about affordability, accessibility issues. But they don't, just like Hillary didn't get it. Most people are happy with what they got. They like the old code. Now these guys are trying to give them new code. And thankfully the American people are seeing through. Do you think your family would be better off or worse off? 22 to 36, they say they'd be worse off with this healthcare plan. You got another 35 saying it doesn't make a difference. Look at those independent numbers. You got 46 saying they'd be worse off. Then we say, all in all, do you think action Barack Obama's taken since becoming president helped or hurt the nation's economy or not made much of a difference? They're more likely right now to think it's actually helped us. Because again, they understand The economy was hurting, but I really believe that we've got to go on the offense here. You know, this survey was before unemployment's now at almost 10%. The press was telling us for the last month, the DNC was telling us how things are getting better. People have some real questions about that now. Do you think the government's recent takeovers of private industries, basically the bailouts, are a good idea or a bad idea? 54 to 33, they think they're a bad idea. One of the worst things we probably did as a party, and I know you hurt some folks' feelings on this, but was when we supported the initial bailout. That was against a lot of things that people in our party opposed. But the good news is now we're back on the right side of these types of issues. It's never good unless I insult somebody, you know that. I'm going to let that go because I know, I'm going to finish up with this. We need issues and ideas. The reason we did what we did in '94, everybody will say it was the contract. You know, that's what everybody was telling us. You know where the contract came from? It didn't come from Washington. The contract came from people like this in this room. I tell everybody, all 10 issues that were in that contract, before they kind of packaged them up, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for Tony Blank that we just heard, and the news and whatnot, but all those issues were being run on by every Republican in the country. And it came from the grassroots, and the same thing is going to happen again. That's the most important thing we need. We need big ideas, and we need better ideas, and we need better candidates to articulate those ideas. And I know when we do that, I'm telling you right now, 2010 and 2012 are going to be terrific years for us. Okay?
We're going right into Curt Anderson's program, and he will be talking about media and strategy. I'm not sure we're going to be able to take questions later on because you want to talk some more, Jimmy?
Thank you, Jody. Thanks, Louis. I'm going to go quick because I think it might be more interesting to have a little give and take if that's what makes sense to people. In fact, I'm going to skip all this polling. It's starting to bore me. I'm looking at you people looking at these charts. It's going to kill you eventually. So
He's back.
let's see if I can make this thing work. All right, here we go. No polling. I'm going to make some comments instead about strategy, since I was advertised on that. Let me just say a couple things about where we are as a party. Because I think this is important for everybody. I'm not going to try to give a speech to rival, Governor Sununu or even my friend Jim here. I'm just lay out a couple ideas and see what people think of. So we have two straight terrible elections in '06 and '08, and when we have bad elections as a party, they're even worse in the Northeast, and so that's where we are. And so I kind of have looked at it as if we've gone through about a 5-stage program here. The first was sort of the greeting stage, where you walk around the house unshaven in your bathrobe, looking at the floor. That was sort of election day to Christmas, as a party. And then the next one was, I think, the sort of beginning of the 12-step program where you face up and you look in the mirror and say, yes, I am an alcoholic. And that was like the first quarter of this year. And then after that, and I give Michael Steele, the chairman of the RNC, tremendous credit for that. He stood up and gave a speech in the early spring and said, yeah, you're right. We did a lot of things we didn't sign up to do. We were for more spending. We didn't hold our ground on the things that we said. It's all true. But by the way, now we're done with that. And we're going to put it behind us. And we're going to declare our time of navel gaze soon to be over, and we're going to move forward. And I think that happened. I mean, it took 2 or 3 months for people to get to that, but I think you've definitely seen that the party has gone that direction. So I think we have done that. And right now, I would say we're in the 4th of those 5 stages, which is, everybody's charging the hill now. And it's been a lot of fun, I have to admit, the last 3 or 4 months. We've done a lot of work with Chairman Steele and others in Washington on the healthcare thing, and just basically